Top of it. Yeah, this is it's complicated television, TV, and now I'm going to answer some of the questions that he asked these young ladies or whatever. So Brother Ray asks, no, it's complicated. Asks Brother Ray, relationship questions, part 2. Let's get it.
Why do so many women today say they don't need a man?
Well, the reason why they say they don't need a man, they don't need a man to survive. Now, romantically, it may be something else. Okay? So, since the advent of money and due to the automated and computer economy, they don't need a man to survive. Okay? So, since they don't need a man to survive, and they typically, historically, have married men for prehistoric time for survival, since they have a means to survive, then they no longer need men for survival.
As friends, doesn't want kids, hires a maid and hires a prostitute, why would a man need a woman?
Well, brother, you just answered your own question, because typically, the prostitute, if he like women, is going to be a woman. Okay. Now you may say, why does he don't need a wife? But why does he need a woman? He need a woman to be the prostitute. He need a woman for that, but JJ, if he's into women like that. So I hope that answered your question, brother. He need women. If he got all that stuff, you phrased it wrong. You should have said, "What does he need a wife?" But you said, "Well, he can hire a prostitute." Well, the prostitute is a woman, so he need the woman for what the prostitute does. But thanks for your question, brother. Proceed with the question.
Okay, do you think that men are incapable of love without a woman teaching them?
Romantic love. I would say they're not incapable of love, but without a woman, you can't do no loving romantically. And that's in you to do. So, but thanks for your question, though. It's a pretty good question, brother.
I think they're the ones who should define love and emotions.
Because we're more.
Well, they don't define what love is. You need to define what love is for yourself. Why is that? Because you do the loving. So if a woman defines what's love for a particular man, he's a weak man. But thanks for your question. Next question.
Is giving birth more of a privilege or burden for women?
Neither. Neither. It's just like eating. It is what it is. It's not a privilege because, privilege is something that you don't have to have. A burden, well, it depends on the woman if she don't want to have a kid or not. But thanks for your question. Next question.
Providing for a family more of a privilege or burden for men?
It all depends on the man. It all depends on the man. Now, if he's responsible for the family, that means if he bore the kids and married a wife and things of that nature, and he gave her some kids, then he's responsible for the kids. And whatever he said he's going to do for that family. So it's not a burden depending on his level of maturity towards being a family. But thanks for your question. Next question.
How likely are men to leave if their wife can't bear children?
It depends. Cause some couples don't want any kids at all. So, but now if he want kids and she can't have any kids, then they're not gonna really get along anyway. But if she want kids and he don't want any kids, they're gonna have to get along anyway. So it all depends on what he wants. If he wants kids and she can't bear any, and he knows that she can't bear any, but he still stick around and he's gonna be there for a long time. But if he wants kids and she can't bear any, she's not gonna get married anyway. But thanks for your question.
How likely are women to stay if their man can't provide?
Well, it depends on how they feel about that man. It all depends on how you feel about that man and how long he hasn't been provided. Now, if it's a female that makes a lot of money and she just want a man to be there, and he is a man to her, then she's not likely to leave if she likes him. But if she's in it for the situation over the man, then once he can't provide, she's going to be gone anyway. So the best thing to do is get somebody who like you for you, not what you can do and what you have. Meaning that be with those who like you. Thanks for your question. Next question.
So can we conclude that providing is more of a burden for men because women are less likely to stay?
No. No, if it's selected well, then you know what I mean, it's all to come along with it. And also how you are if you sort of lose your job. That you sort of lose your job, whatever, depending on how you act in that respect. So but a lot of times you got to provide something. If you can't provide, you start getting weak, and the money is the man in the can that makes you a man. Then just a matter of time before the woman leaves. But thanks for your question. Next question.
Marriage vows say for richer, for poorer, and for sickness and in health.
Yeah, but
yes it do. Yes it does, but you can't enforce them. So, everybody jobbing and playing around. So, sickness, richer for poor. Well, you know what I mean. That's what those are the vows. But vows, like promises, they're meant to be broken. And you don't have any vows if you can't enforce them. But thanks for your question. Next question.
What is the definition of a simp?
Okay. A simp is typically a man who works hard for a female's validation. Okay. That's what a simp is. A guy who listens and I would say listen, change tires and change oil, fix houses, listen to our problems, send a flower, all this he's spending time and using your time to earn a female's validation. That's what a simp is, and thanks for your question. Next question.
Difference between a simp and a pimp.
A simp and a pimp? Okay. A simp, again, he works hard for the female validation. A pimp is one who instructs, motivates, and prepares a woman to get about his issue. A real woman, you dig what I'm saying? A one who understands that she talk with a bankroll. You understand me? So that's what a pimp is. A pimp, P-I-M-P, person in the motivating prostitutes. Proceed.
A pimp plays the person that he...
Next question.
Shame each other for being simps if most men were raised to be that way.
I'm over here. Alpha.
Well, okay. The reason why that you are saying to be simps is because you're putting women on this pedestal. And so if the pimp believes a pimp acts as if he's the pedestal. And also that if you're raised to be a simp and you know what I mean, you turn out to be a simp and you run into a woman, she's gonna use you as if you are a simp. So the reason why you are ashamed of being a simp because you lack dignity in the eyes of actual men. And so we're gonna shame you into having some dignity for yourself. Appreciate your question.
The difference between being a simp and being romantic.
Nope. That's simple. That's simple. Being romantic with the woman is a term of appreciation. It's a symbol of appreciation. Being romantic is a symbol of appreciation for your mate. That means she has earned something, and and you rewarding her for paying her dues for earning you and earning your respect. That's what it is. Being a simp, again, is a man who's working, spending time, more time than money, and more labor intensive, spending more time than money to earn a female's validation. That's the difference. And thanks for your question.
An animal considered cruel, but it's not considered cruel to tease a man.
Ooh. I think.
Oh. Well, teasing an animal. Teasing an animal to get you bit. And and a real man wouldn't even allow himself to be teased. See? Teasing an animal is showing you that the human being is in control. A man should be in control of all times. He should know his intentions with a woman and don't let the woman dictate to him what the intentions are. But to get to your question, a man volunteers to be teased. So he can get up and walk away at any time. So that is your answer, and that's a good question.
Wearing a slutty outfit teasing a man.
Well, I ain't got shit to say about that. Hold on.
If a woman has lots of sexy photos on her dating profile and no bio, should she be surprised if guys are only contacting her for hookups?
Well, no, she shouldn't be surprised. She shouldn't. Appreciate your question. Yes, question.
Judge the same way if she's out in public wearing a slutty outfit.
Yeah, but she shouldn't be.
She's out in public wearing a slutty outfit.
Of course. You out in public wearing a slutty outfit?
That's true. But proceed.
Difference between the type of woman men want to sleep with and the type men want relationships with.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of guys can't differentiate between the two. Because a lot of guys choose mates with their penis instead of their minds. And so, the difference between what a man, because a man will sleep with anything. So, you know what I mean? It all depends on what the woman do for him mentally. So, and with his character, because the men are logical. So, with the women who men want to have a relationship with, character trumps sex appeal. With men, with with women who men just want to have sex with, sex appeals over character, because a man will have sex with a woman he's not attracted to at all. So, but again, it's all about the next relationship. But a lot of times, most times that men will wipe up women they like having sex with. They would. But men will, wipe up certain looking chicks because of their character. So, that's the difference between character and sex appeal. So, hope that answers your question. Next question.
Why do so many women today say they don't need a man?
I already answered that, brother.
Does the fact that ladies' nights exist prove that if you control the women, you also control the men?
Nope. That don't prove that worth a damn. Because that's just like saying, well, church is, if you control the man, you control the women. Because there's more women in black churches than there are men. So no, it don't. But thanks for your question. Because women are attracted to women will go to things that are more towards relationship building because they are social creatures, and men are attracted to things where but the possibility of sex is very, very high. So if it's more men than women, then yes, you want to be in that place because the possibility of procreation is very high because of the amount of women that's there. So thanks for your question. This guy has an interesting answer. Proceed.
Bro, like the advertisement. If you control the women, did you hear what he said? If you control the women, you control the men and you control the money. So to me, it's almost like they're using women as pawns to bring the men out, and men would spend anything for these women. Think about it. Everything that we do, it involves a woman. Anytime that guy is talking about money or eating or even things like this, people who go to jail, mostly, I'm gonna put it like this, 60% of men are in jail because of women. And it's not their fault. It's just manhood. I don't know what it is, women, but whatever you got, you better, y'all better cherish it, because I'm not gonna lie, it's powerful.
How much of our economy is driven by men buying things to please and impress women?
Most of it. Women either directly responsible for or directly related to at least 90% of the spending. And the other 10% is just for survival. So yeah, you know what I mean? Paying for female validation, investing in yourself for a woman, buying homes, buying buildings, all of this influenced by a woman. And so, which really, that's why I don't understand. Men talking about they can survive without women. Just like being in prison. That's my opinion. But thanks for your answer. Well, that's for your question.
Okay. Would you also agree that the media pushes a campaign of fear and consumption by exploiting men's need for female validation?
Yeah, in the end of the
Yes. Because a lot of men lack security within themselves. You dig what I'm saying? They red pill about women. They all this about women, but when it comes to themselves, they have no clue. Self is the most important person that you should be learning about and take care of. So, thanks for your question. Very interesting.
By exploiting men's need for female validation.
Yeah, in the end of the day, let's say the establishment recognizes the fact that people need to have sex and reproduce, so they put them in fear of, if you don't eat here, you're not going to live. If you don't buy this, you're not going to live. If you don't attract this type of woman, then you're not going to get in her pants, and therefore you're not going to have children.
Well, and that's the very same thing of, women would die alone. The average at best, you're going to die alone. The so-called high-value male. get this high value woman, and everybody's seeking validation from everyone else except themselves. Now, everybody want to be appreciated by individuals that they do something for. Period. So yeah. Fear is a very very strong emotion. So, and fear and shame will make people do some strange things. But thanks for your question.
Talk about the exploitation of women, but we never talk about this exploitation of men.
Because men should be logical. You dig what I'm saying? Men should be logical. Now, there are nobody's being exploited. They're just volunteering for something that exploits a void in their lives. Because men don't, if truth be told, if people are totally happy with their lives, they won't need a mate. But since a void is there, then they're going to, and depending on how big how they prioritize the void in their lives, and that's not, and really truth to be told, that's not exploitation. You dig what I'm saying? What they're doing is they're marketing sex, because sex is desired by both men and women. More times than not, it's desired by men more than women. So, because typically the man has the money, so you're going to gear it. You're going to gear your advertising more towards sex, so men can spend money. And also, women like sex also. But high earning women want to see themselves as equal or better than men, and so they're going to spend the same amount of money also. But interesting question. Thank you for your question.
Promoting.
Is it possible to have equality without equal accountability?
No. And the thing is, accountability is nothing without responsibility. So you cannot be equal when you're different. Okay? It's just like a football team. Well, people say, well, the most important position on the on the offense is the quarterback. Well, if he don't have any protection, if he got a sorry left tackle, then he not going to be a very good quarterback. Different position, different responsibility on the same team, equally as important but different. That's your question.
Is it fair for a woman to blame society for the consequences of her own personal choices, like having a baby or choosing a career that over-sexualizes her body?
No, because she chose those things. She chose those things, free will and accord. So no, it's not society's problem, because society society may help provide the environment, but that doesn't mean you have to partake. It's just like lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You got to decide to drink. They kind of go both ways. But thanks for your question.
Why is it when women are called out on their bad behavior, they often blame society or how they were raised, but when men are called out, they are more likely to be held accountable?
Well, in order to hold somebody accountable, then that means somebody has to be responsible. So, since women are looked upon as a weaker vessel, and their bad behavior is not really on that. That's all that is an excuse. All that is an excuse if you were taught right from wrong, yes, up and down, and yes and no. So if somebody has told you that, hey, if you don't want the kids, maybe you need to protect yourself and get on birth control, and you say, well, yeah, I got it, and you end up pregnant, you can't say, well, my upbringing, since my mom saw me cuss and laughed at 8 years old, I got pregnant early. No, just like a man say, just because I ain't get whooped when I stole the candy bar out of the store, that I went and go murder some people, that's somehow the parents' fault. No, But if you were told right from wrong, and if you were punished for being wrong, and you did wrong, then you are accountable. You don't steal in front of the police. You don't murder in front of the police. You don't have sex with another man in front of your husband unless he's a cuck. So it's our decision, and we innately know what's right from wrong. But thanks for your question.
That we don't have equal account.
I'm gonna say it again. In order to hold somebody accountable, then you must be responsible for that person who you're trying to hold accountable. But thanks for your question. Again.
Okay. Do you think it's true women often want equality when it's convenient, but are happy to revert to traditional roles when it's not?
100.
Yes. Thanks for your question.
More concerned with the ratio of male to female CEOs as opposed to the ratio of lower paid, dangerous, dirty jobs done mostly by men?
Because they want the power. They want the power. And that's the equivalent of a woman she don't want equality, she want to be special. They're not any Fortune 500 CEOs. And service master. Well, okay. Well, how many of them sweeping floors? How many women sweeping floors? No, what's the ratio of that? Because women don't want to be equal; they want to be special. But thanks for your question, though.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Right, but I mean, women are talking about the glass ceiling, but don't they have to also acknowledge the glass cellar?
There is no glass cellar. It's just a cellar.
Could it be possibly because women only want to complain about the double standards that don't benefit them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love women. I love girls. I love beautiful women or whatever. But to be honest, we do try to take the easier route. Men really do work hard. They do. They do work hard to try to get to where they're going, especially for women they love.
If women have been historically oppressed, where did the expression ladies first come from?
I don't know. That comes from an old chivalrous time, back in medieval times, and it really ain't the lady first, it's the queen first above anything else. But okay.
Damn. These are good questions.
One last question. Why do so many women complain about being sexually objectified when the entire Vegas economy is built on sex?
Yeah, that's a great fucking one.
It's all about
Great
situational.
question, sir.
Can you put this up there? It's all about situational awareness, and if you're in Vegas walking around in a bikini, you can't. Like, it's
Boom.
all where do you...
The hoeing is legal in Vegas. It's all about sex, and sex brings money, and men typically pay for sex. All right, guys, so much for this video. Thanks to It's Complicated channel. Talk to y'all later.